Shop Automotive, working on another import. I thought I was going to be able to do diesels all the time and stuff, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So we got a 16 or 17 Infiniti Q70. It's actually my mom's car, but they're in here for a concern with their wheel bearing, and yeah, I think it's toast. So I'm gonna go over some of the tools we needed to do this. It wasn't that bad. You just have to take a lot of stuff off of the hub to get the bolts out that hold the hub bearing or hub assembly onto the hub, or whatever it's called. I guess this is just a wheel bearing. Yeah, the bolts to the wheel bearing, you have to take them off the hub assembly, and you have to get the CV axle out of the way. So not too bad. Be a lot easier if I wasn't doing it in the blistering heat. But let me show you what some of the stuff we got going on here. This is our bad wheel bearing. I mean, I don't know if you can hear this, but it is just no good. So I think some of the bearings came out, and they're just floating around inside of there. You can kind of hear it when you shake it. Obviously, it's rough when you turn it. So this is definitely bad. I got a new one that should be here today from the parts store. So we're gonna throw that in. You'll need a 32mm socket for the axle nut that you have to take off. And there's a little cover with a cotter pin on there. And you just have to pull that cotter pin out, pull the cover off. And then you'll see the axle nut. I don't remember off the top of my head if it's recommended to replace that or not. Personally, I think it'll be okay if you run it back down and torque it to the torque spec, which I did not look up. Be sure to torque that to the recommended spec when you do that. Usually I have this stuff pulled up, but my computer's all messed up, so I'll try to put up a picture at the end with the torque specs for all this stuff. So just stay tuned for that at the end. But yeah, your 32. This swivel 17 really helped me get to the bolts that hold this on the back side, because your CV axle comes right through here, and then your bolts right here. So it just helped because it's on the back side. So it just really helped to be able to get my impact in there and impact those things off. Let's see, you'll need a 19. That's a 21. I need a 21. I don't know where my 19 is. Oh, here it is. Yeah, you'll need a 19. This is for the two bolts that hold the brake caliper on the backside. You don't have to take, because of the type of calipers that these have, you just take the two bolts off of the bracket and the whole caliper will come off. You don't have to you don't have to take off a bolt on the caliper itself. So I use this 12mm. There's a bracket for the brake line. The metal brake line goes from metal to rubber to metal, and then it kind of curves around. I undid that on the bracket so you can move it out of your way just for a little bit easier access. I don't think you will have to per se, but short 17, yeah, just 17, various 17s, 19, 21, it's another 17, and then your 32mm axle socket. And I needed a 17 wrench to hold the nut on the back side of this thing. Has got a lot of suspension components. I'm not even sure what you call them. It's got like 3 bars running to the hub assembly, and then your upper control arm. So I guess it just has a bunch of lower control arms, and then holding the nut, well, I used the impact on the other side is what I use that for. My big 1/2-inch wrench, used that and an impact to bust the 19mm bolts that hold the caliper on. I didn't use this. This is just up here. So this is pretty much what you'll need. Obviously a torque wrench, and again, I'll look up the torque specs when we go to do that. So I guess I'll kind of just show you what you kind of end up having to do on this car. But first off, this is a beautiful car. I'm really digging this car. Black on black. It's freaking nice. I drove it to work, test driving it, making sure that the wheel bearing was the problem. And I drove it to work and I was like, this is freaking nice. Beautiful interior, sunroof. It's like the perfect daily. And it's got the 3.7 from the 370Zs. So it's pretty peppy. But anyways, I did this kind of the hard way. You're pretty much just gonna have to undo the upper control arm and take this nut off right here. Take that cotter pin out, take this off, so you can move this in and out further, so it'd be easier to just get the CV axle out of the way. I clearly did not do that. I fought it and made this job take way longer than it should, but learn from my mistakes. That's why I make these videos. So, but yeah, you have all these control arms, I guess you could call them, right here. You have to undo all those with the 17, 19, and I think the 21. And then we undid the sway bar back here. I can't remember what size that was, but it goes right through there, so you'll have to undo that too. And then this is the caliper. So, rotor's down there. All our bolts. This is the axle nut. It has a little cotter pin. I don't know where that little cover went that I had, but I'll have to find it to get it put back on there. Yeah, what the hell? It's probably on the toolbox somewhere. But ignore the mess. I've been busy with customer cars and side work and more projects than I can deal with right now, but we're all moving past that. So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. It's nothing really too crazy. It's pretty fun job. Be sure to like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. All my 8 subscribers that are still subscribed, I really appreciate it. It's just the little things like that that mean a lot to me. I'm doing all this to try to help people, you know, look up something, see what they need before they get into it, make sure they have all the tools they need. There was none on this, no special tools needed, so not that big of a deal. I'm gonna go get the new one, stab it on there. There's nothing unique about the install process. Just you stick your hub assembly in, run your bolts down, and if you have your lower control arm unbolted, you know, you can move the hub however out of your way, and then just run the CV axle through there. I'll have to look up the manual recommendations, but I think it wouldn't hurt to put some anti-seize or grease on your CV axle threads so they do not rust in your new wheel bearing assembly, I guess. Still not really sure what the correct name for the part is. But that's going to do it, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe. Peace out.